Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. Let me introduce you to 10 fancy smelling chippies for the Middle Eastern realm of things. Oftentimes I see fragrances or creators, throwing in chippies that smell expensive here and there. And when I see some of the fragrances, I just go like, they are cheap, but they don't really smell expensive, and that is just my opinion. However, if you want a list of amazing, fancy smelling, cheap fragrances that smell expensive, that is going to be the list that you don't want to miss. So let me just start off with one that I believe is one of the greatest discoveries of the year 2025. I've had this on my radar for a while, but I didn't want to buy because it was quite, on the expensive side. I had heard a lot about it, but I didn't know it was apparently inspired by one of the most sought after fragrances currently, Bachiami from Bulgaria. That is a fragrance I've been looking for a very long time, but it is totally out of my price point. But I heard about Graham from Lattafa last year. I wasn't sure what it was inspired by. There wasn't any, I didn't get any review on it for a very long time until recently. It's been coming out, a few reviews have been coming out, and I understand it is inspired by Bachiami from Bulgaria. Super curious. Decided to get it in Ghana because it is much cheaper in Ghana, and I don't have any regrets at all. I don't have any regrets getting this fragrance. It is the most beautiful, soft, demure, gentle vanilla. It is not going to be your edible gourmand vanilla, the atypical gourmand vanilla. It is not going to give you that. It's all about a very airy, beautiful vanilla and the softest florals you can ever imagine. Think about this fragrance as equal parts of florals and equal parts of vanilla. That is not going to be your typical gourmand, vanilla, but the softest, most gentle, beautiful, elegant vanilla you can ever come across. It is a very beautiful, gentle, elegant. It gives me elegante. Elegance is all this fragrance screams. It screams ultra feminine. It screams gentle. It screams femininity at its peak, demure, no harsh, energy or masculine energy at all. This is the most beautiful floral vanilla I have come across, hands down. And for the price you're getting this, I got it mine in Ghana for around $30 or less dollars, around $29-30. I know elsewhere it is around the $45 mark price, but it's going to be the best $45 you ever spend if you get this fragrance. Trust me, it's going to be the best $45 you spend, on any fragrance for most part of the year, or the year is just early, so I'm not going to exaggerate, but it's going to be one of the best, if you can wait for the prices to drop, I would recommend that, but this is part of the Pride collection, and I don't see the price of this dropping to that $30 price mark because it stayed around the $40-45 for quite a long time. But it's going to be the best $45 or $40 you're ever going to spend on any demure, sophisticated, elegant fragrance ever, and that is going to be Graham from the house Lattafa. I'm going to go with another one that I'm sort of a bit late to the party, but I'm so happy I waited. I got the inspiration from Wendy Wise here on YouTube, one of my favorites. She spoke about this and I was super curious, but I was like, I'm not going to get this for $72. No, I wasn't going to do that. Meringue from Paris, I wasn't going to pay $72 at the point it was released. I said I was going to wait, and I'm so glad I waited. And this is on Joma Shop for $29, and that was when I took the opportunity to grab this, and I have zero regrets. This is beautiful. This is expensive smelling. They say meringue, that is the name of the fragrance. However, the note structure does not include anything meringue. I think the name meringue is only befitting for its texture, the texture of the fragrance, but not the name, or the composition of the fragrance, because the note structure doesn't contain the note of, that gourmand meringue. But I think the notes, the texture of this fragrance is a very lightweight, airy, fluffy one, and that is where I think the name meringue is coming from. However, this is a very beautiful citrusy pineapple, mandarin, but leather, suede, birch accord, which is done in the most sophisticated, beautiful. It's like leather done in a way that a woman would appreciate. No woman is going to be offended by this type of leather or birch or suede. It is very gentle, light and airy with that infusion of the citruses, the pineapple, the mandarin. It is quite on the complex yet very beautiful, easy to digest fragrance. It smells very expensive. It doesn't smell like your typical run of the mill gourmand of citruses. It's more on the complex side, but smells super expensive. It smells rich. It doesn't give you the typical gourmand, it has a bit of a gourmandy touch to it, but to me, it is more of the texture that gives me a light, airy fluffiness like a meringue, It's very beautiful, and I highly recommend this. Next on this list is a fragrance I'm super happy to have at least a decant of this in my bottle. I would have picked up a full bottle if I was not, watching out on my spending and everything. It is full bottle worthy, and this is from Lattafa, known as Mashyaya, and this is like the dominant apple shisha accord. Basically, that is what it is, with a smoky tobacco, essence to it. Beautiful. I like the fact that the scent profile of this fragrance is quite different from the normal, typical smoky fragrances. It is not going to give you your typical smoky, nuance that is like a lot of women shy away from. It is quite smoky with the shisha accord, but it is blended beautifully with the apple and whatever composition it has. It is one of the sweetest apple smoky fragrances I have come across. It is smooth. There is nothing squishy about this. It gives me a super unisex fragrance. It doesn't lean masculine or ultra feminine to me. It is like a powerhouse. It delivers. Performance wise, the scent is different from the normal smoky fragrances. If you're not a fan of the typical smoky fragrances, you might want to try Mashrabya. It is a different take on a smoky accord, with the smoke being the shisha, giving it like a tobacco-ish, feel to it, with the apple and the other beautiful sort of, a bit of a gourmand touch without being your typical foodie gourmand. It is very beautiful. The price for this is like on the very affordable. I think it's going for around the 35. I've even seen it around the 28, elsewhere. So if you really want to try this one out, you can just blind buy this, and I'm sure a lot of people are not going to be disappointed. Next on this is going to be a fragrance that I absolutely adore. I also have a decant of this. This is from Ahmed Maghribi, and this is Brûlée. I was thinking of creme brulee, but apparently it doesn't give me the typical creme brulee. This is like a composition of chocolatey coffee, some tobacco smoky nuance, cardamom spices. It is beautiful. It smells very rich and intoxicating and decadent and gourmand, but a grown sexy gourmand. It doesn't give me your foodie gourmand, although you get composition and elements of that, but it's more on the cardamom spice with a bit of a smoky, bit of a spice. A heavy presence of caramel, some citruses, but the citruses are like quite muted. All I get is a beautiful caramel, spice, cardamom, some hints of bergamot, and a heavy dose of that, heavy dose of the caramel, the chocolatey sort of, feel that this one has. It is very spicy, very out there. It is like quite out there, but it's not offending, it's going to offend anybody. It is quite out there, so you just need to be a little cautious how many sprays you do. But if you are one that wants your signature, your fragrances to be known, to announce you before you get to the place, Brule from Ahmed Maghribi is going to be one of those fragrances. It feels very smooth. The cardamom here is spicy, but the other nuances here makes it like a very beautiful composition, gourmand without being food edible. And I think a lot of people are trying to go away from that whole food edible thing. I'm not entirely over those ones, but I still enjoy any other category of gourmand. And this is going to be your grown, matured, spicy, heavy hitter gourmand scent that is appropriate for both sexes. So that is Brûlée from the house Ahmed and Maghribi. It smells super expensive. Let's go with one of the latest Alhambra fragrances that I'm enjoying thoroughly, and this is smoked oud and vanilla from the house Maison Alhambra. The bottle to me is one of the most elegant, sexiest, gentle, simple fragrance bottles I have come across in a very long time. I like the color scheme, that brown, deep, rich brown with the simplicity. It is very beautiful. The juice is the most beautiful smoked oud and vanilla, as the name implies, fragrance I have smelled, hands down. It is quite on the complex side. It's going to remind you of fragrances like the Amir Al Oud Intense, but so much, less sweeter, like very little sweetness to it. It is a very unsweetened form of vanilla and some smoky, tobacco-y, coffee. It has the notes of coffee, and I can get the coffee here, but it's not going to give you your realistic French coffee vibe of coffee. It is and everything about it is unsweetened. The coffee here doesn't feel sweet. It feels unsweetened. A bit of a dark chocolate vibe to it, and the vanilla here is like thick, gooey, syrupy, rich, intense, but not your typical sweet, foodie vanilla with some tobacco touches, and the tobacco doesn't come across as your piped or, green, smoked, whatever tobacco. It's more of a very muted tobacco, smoky tobacco, sort of, shisha sort of accord. It is beautiful. It is elegant. It smells expensive. It doesn't smell like your run-of-the-mill ordinary gourmand vanilla smoky. It doesn't smell ordinary at all. It smells super well dressed, like dressed up. It calls for dressing up a bit. I don't see myself wearing t-shirt and jeans and wearing this. It doesn't go with it at all. It's more of a dressed up, fragrance, and I highly recommend you check this one out. Smoked oud and vanilla from the house Maison Alhambra. I'm going to go with the fragrance that I feel for those who like the more gourmand out there fragrance. Go with Khadlaj Caffe Latte. It is very beautiful. It's, to me, the only interpretation of Amor Cafe that I have smelled, and it is like a one-to-one. Nobody's going to tell the difference between these two. I'm wearing Amor Cafe. I'm not wearing Cafe Latte from Khadlaj. A very beautiful, spot-on gourmand in the true sense of a gourmand, with the coffee, the milky nuance, the toffee accord, the ice cream. It doesn't smell like your ordinary ultra girly. It is girly but matured and fun in a grown-up way. So I say Cafe Latte from Khadlaj. You can just check it out. You're not going to be disappointed. Even if you don't like gourmand in the true essence of gourmand, there's something about this with a sort of incensey, burnt sugary sort of feel to it that makes it quite different and a little more complex. So I'm sure if you're not for the straight up gourmand, you will still enjoy this because it has a bit of complexity to it. I'm going to go with the fragrance that from the start, it was like, no, hell no, I'm not doing this. But after going through the process of aging and developing, this is one of the best mango complex mineral gourmet interpretation of a fragrance I own. Masa from Lattafa. This is not your ordinary mango scent, it's mango, but it's different. It has that mineral accord, some other florals, some woods. It is different, unique. It's a unique take on that masculine gourmet, DNA with the mango addition to it. It smells super expensive. It smells rich. That leather or mineral accord here gives it more of a different or a unique take. It is beautiful. There isn't much I can say about it. It's more on the complex side, but it's a very beautiful take on a mango scent. And the mango here is not going to be your super realistic mango. You get nuances of the mango here, but that mineral accord takes it like to a different level. It smells expensive. It smells luxurious. It smells like a very polished woman or man. I feel this is more on the masculine side because of that mineral accord. There's something about this that gives me more of a masculine vibe, but I wear this myself. It is perfectly unisex, although to me it's leaning slightly masculine, but it's one of those fragrances you need to be in a certain mood to be able to appreciate it. Although I wouldn't say it's an it's like an elevated everyday casual, fragrance. You can do it in that way. But if you dress up, suit and tie, elegant pencil skirt, that is the vibe that this one is giving you. It's giving you, I'm serious, I'm confident, I am bold, I am beautiful, I'm in command, I'm in charge. It screams confidence, commands attention. It is different. People are going to ask you, what are you wearing? Because it's not your everyday, normal, a typical, gourmand fragrances. It gives you gourmand without being in your face gourmand. And that is going to be Masa from the house, Lattafa. I'm going to go with a fragrance that I feel, if you want that typical gourmand, but in a more playful way, more mass appealing way, but not smell cheap, that is going to be Mango Bliss. And you may know this. It's like one of my favorite fragrances for 2024, hands down. Now I can say it's one of my best fragrances. Designer niche, Middle Eastern, is going to be Mango Bliss. And this is a very powerful tropical vibe. It gives me richness. It's like elevated, fun, elevated, but simple, but elevated and matured in a way. It's not giving me juvenile, although it gives me tropical vibes. I feel I can also dress it up, it's about how you want to wear this fragrance. It gives me polished mango and pineapple, some citruses. It is like quite delicate, but also have a presence. This is one of the most beautiful, juiciest, mouth-watering mango pineapple scents I have ever come across. Hands down, one of my favorites from Paris corner. And it smells super luxurious, super expensive. It doesn't smell cheap, although price point is one of the cheapest in this bunch that I'm introducing today. But I think this is a very beautiful composition that everybody needs to get their nose on. So Mango Bliss from the house Paris corner, from the Ministry of Gourmand line. You cannot go wrong. I'm going to go with one of my oldies here. I don't think I've ever seen anybody speaking about Caesar from F.A. Paris. It's one of those earlier encounters with F.A. Paris, from their Giovanni Lorenzo line. I think I'm the only person I have seen, I'm talking about Caesar, and this is apparently inspired by Tiziana Terenzi's Chimera, and I have not tried that before. But what I know about this Caesar is the fact that it smells super luxurious. It smells rich, it has elements of a lot of scent profile. When it comes to gourmands, you're going to find something there. The earthy patchouli, you're going to find something there. The wood, you're going to find it here. The leather is more about a rich leather, suede, chocolatey, and heavy presence of honey. It has this heavy presence of honey that makes it like caramelized honey, sweet, rich, intense, with the other, patchouli and earthy, woody. It is more on the complex side, but very beautiful and wearable. It smells super expensive. It smells niche, like what is inspired by Camera. Although I haven't smelled that, I have a feeling it's going to smell super expensive, and that is a case of Caesar from F.A. Paris. It smells luxurious. It smells rich. It smells like the perfect unisex, scent. It follows in the suit of the Tiziana Terenzi's Asa. If you love a fragrance like Asa by Tiziana Terenzi, you're going to love this one as well. So that is going to be Caesar from the house F.A. Paris. And the last fragrance on this list is going to be from Nusuk, and this is Al Mukhtalif. The bottle by itself is super luxurious. It's like the typical Middle Eastern. It's like giving some reference to the Middle Eastern. I believe this is like a monument. I'm not sure which monument it is, but it's a very beautiful bottle. The silver, I love the silver. It just screams Dubai, Middle Eastern, Oman, Qatar. It screams Middle Eastern to me. However, the fragrance in this one doesn't give you your typical Middle Eastern. It is inspired by Lamar from Khadlaj, and a very beautiful interpretation at that. The pineapple, the citruses, the powdery rose, very beautiful. It screams luxury, it screams luxury. It's like polished, effervescent, everyday. You can also use it as your, your signature scent, your everyday scent. It can also come across as dressed up, but there's something about it. It is mass appealing, but also has this punch about it, which gives it an elegance with the rose being a very powdery, sophisticated rose, the bergamot, the pineapple, the citruses. When you go for fragrance card, the note structure there, I don't think it is correct, because it is like totally different with watermelon and whatever, but that is not the note structure. I don't believe that is the note structure when you go to Fragrantica. But when you go to the website of Nusuk, it's going to give you the accurate note structure. And this is a very beautiful take on Lamar, from Kajal. These are 10 amazing fragrances that are not going to break the bank. If you're on a budget, even if you're not on a budget, you want to try something different, these 10 are going to be it. As I say, not all affordable fragrances smell amazing. Not all of them. As a matter of fact, you will just be wasting your money on some fragrances just because they say they are affordable. And why would you waste $30 on a fragrance, whereas when you can just, add like 5 or 10 more to it and get a better, alternative in the ones that I have spoken about. So that is going to be it for today, and I hope this video found you well. So please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.